Hey guys, it's Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Okay, we have got our work cut out for us today. We're gonna learn how to do Inamorata by Metallica, the longest song I think they've ever done. Over 11 minutes long. Huge harmony section. I'm gonna cover all the harmony parts, every single one, and all the riffs, both of Kirk's solos, everything. It's gonna be a long video, so hopefully you guys don't mind hanging out with me for a while, my sparkling personality. So I hope you guys, it was a bit of an effort to get this all tracked down. So hopefully you guys will check out the whole video and kind of like and comment and really help me out with the YouTube algorithm with this thing. And if you really want to be able to not have to watch a video from a guy like me to teach you how to play the song, you should figure it out yourself. Join my Guitar Academy, I'll show you how to do it. You'll see a link in the description below. My Guitar Academy has all my courses, from courses for complete beginners to more advanced courses in technique, improvisation, ear training, theory. So you can develop the skill set to be able to do all this on your own. Anyway, all right, now we are in standard tuning. So nothing, that's one little shortcut we can take. We don't have to go through a tuning thing. So let's start here with this intro. Now, intro's a little bit deceiving sounding. When you first hear it come in, you hear a slide, a power chord slide. Then after that, they do kind of a Black Sabbath thing. It's not they don't keep sliding the chord. Really, the only time you really hear it in the song is the very first time you hear it, there's a slide, power chord slide. So it's a slide from the 7th fret to the 9th fret. But once you get to the 9th fret, the rest of the times you hear it, he's just hitting the 9th fret across the A and the E, and hammering on the 11th fret there on the A string. So the very first one, and then, so I do that you do this now 3 times here. So, 1, 2, and we have these little intervals. Now that is going to be here at the, now you can do this, I will say this, throughout the whole song, there is no live video as of the time I've shot this video. There is no live footage of them playing it. They're playing live shows, but haven't seen anything that they've played this yet. So when they finally do, you might see that some of the stuff that I'm playing here might be played here. Same notes, kind of take an educated guess of where we think they're playing it, but that might not completely pan out when they play it live. But just fair warning, you might see something like that in here. I'm not exactly sure. If they ever play it, you might see something, the same note played in a different position. There's no way of kind of getting that perfect. But anyway, so after this first slide, and then you're gonna go this 7th fret on the low E and the 5th fret on the A. Hit that a few times, then up to the 8th fret on the low E, 7th on the A, and then hit that a couple times, and then hit it and slide up 2 frets, the 9th fret on the A, 10th on the low E. And then from there, we go back to this. So that time we didn't start with that little power chord slide. We just went directly to the one where we're holding the 9th across the A and the E, and then hammering on. We do that 4 times, and then back to the intervals. So you do this whole riff 4 times. Then we do the same riff pretty much 4 times, but we kind of throw a little bit of percussiveness, and it was like this. So to kind of doing that same thing, there's some muted hits, and then, which is just those 2 9s, and then up to 11 on the A. So that same little move, but you kind of gotta hitting them like that, so this. And then the same ending. So you do this 4 times. Now we have a new riff that comes in and plays 4 times as well, and this looks like this. So that's going to start up here with this power chord at the 12th fret, which is only kind of played the first time through, because you'll see when we start the riff over, we're holding a different kind of this little interval, and they play that instead leading into the rest of the riff. So you'll see what I mean in a second. So the first time through, so it's just a slide from the power chord at the 12th, low E, down to the 9. Couple muted hits, then hit that 9 again, and then back up to the 12. So look at this. So then we slide from the 12 down to 9, down to 7, and back to 9. So we have this. And then we're going to have a little bit different intervals, the last one at least. You're going to play the same 5 and 7, then 8, then 7 and 8. But here, instead of just sliding up 2 frets, slide up to the 11th fret. So it's 11 on the A, 12 on the low E. So we have this. And you're just going to hit each chord at once. When you get up here, that is what it's going to start the riff over again. So instead of going back to the power chord, it goes. So we have that, you hit that interval, you got it. And then you go back down to that power chord, the 9th fret, and then the rest of the riff is the same with the full power chord up top. So we have this. So start over. So that's instead of. Okay, so we have this. And then 1, 1, and then right here. Now the 4th time through, we change it up a little bit at the very end. So it's a little bit longer riff there. Instead of going there, we go this. Slide back up to 12 and then back down to 9. So go. Instead of. Go. And then he starts doing the intervals at the end. And he doesn't quite make it up to the 3rd one, and he jumps into the verse. All right, so the verse riff looks like this. Pre-chorus. So that's a fun little riff. So we're going to be down here at the 4th fret there on the D string, and then hammer on 5, pull back off to 4, and pull off to 2. Then you're going to jump over here and play the power chord, the C sharp power chord at the 4th fret of the A string. So this. Then down 2 frets to the 2nd fret, and then back to the 4th. So then a couple of muted hits, and repeat the riff. So after you've done that riff 3 times, we have this. So that's that C sharp power chord there at the 4th fret of the A, over to the G power chord at the 3rd fret of the low E. Then a couple of heavily palm muted hits. And then hit that C sharp power chord again, and then over to the F sharp power chord at the 2nd fret of the low E. So So we have this. Repeat. So you repeat that whole riff 4 times. That's the verse. And then we get to this pre-chorus, which looks like this. All right, so this right here is going to be pretty simple. 3rd fret power chord. So these are all in the low E. 3, 2. Then hit 2, let it ring. So it's then 0, 2. Then hit let ring the 2 ring again. So we have this. So repeat that again. And then there's this little ending on it, little chromatic thing, where we hit the 2nd fret power chord there, open E, 1st fret power chord, 2nd fret, so, and it works your way back up to the 3rd fret to start the riff over again. So those are heavily palmated. So this. Repeat. Now the second ending, instead of doing that little chromatic thing, he just jumps up and goes. Now, once again, this is one of the spots. Like, this could be played down here. I think he's playing it up here for a couple of reasons. One, especially because of what comes next, goes into that same main riff again. Right up here, it kind of has that throaty sound that low E string has, so it sounds a little bit darker than it would if it was down here. So I think that instead of going, he's going all the way up there with it. And it also makes sense that that would be where it's played, like in the harmony section. Oh, that harmony section is coming, don't worry. All right, so we have this little run up. So instead of that, it's just different ending the second time through at the end of the pre-chorus. Just the 2nd fret there. We'll move up to this 7th fret, 9, over to 7 on the E. And then we go into the chorus. All right, so the chorus looks like this. So pretty simple. We're just gonna start here, a little single note riff. Kind of hammering 7 to 9 there. And then you're gonna pick 7, 9. So go hammer twice, and then pick 7, 9, over to 7 on the A, and then kind of a quicker hammer on the A from 7 to 9. Back to the 9 on the low E. All right, then come up here to the 11th fret. So that's up here at the 11 on the A. Kind of a half step bend or release. Then plays 9, 7, back to 9. And then kind of a bend and release there. Down to 7, then 9, 7 on the low E. Enjoy this. And that's the riff, and just repeats that exactly the same way 4 times. All right, then we kind of get out of the chorus by playing that riff that happened at the end of the intro, that 4 times where we did that. It's played exactly like it is at the end of the intro. So that ending, those ending section of the intro right before the verse came in, it's the same thing. So that riff played 4 times. And then we get to the same verse, so nothing new to learn there. Same pre-chorus and same chorus. So we just zip through a lot of the song right there because we've already covered it. And then we get to this little transition out of the second chorus that's kind of taking us into the first solo. So it's the first riff that we played at the beginning of the song. The one without any kind of slide at all, just the Black Sabbath type thing. So that done twice. Then after that, it does that riff twice. It goes to this new riff, which is really kind of the first half of the solo that's played, but they play it 2 times through this riff, this new riff here, before the solo comes in, and then 2 more times during the solo, and then the second half of the solo has a different rhythm. So, so let me play this riff for you real quick. Looks like this. All right, so that riff's gonna be played 4 times total, the first time without the solo. So we're gonna start here with this, just kind of a couple of those little hammer on, the 2 9s on the E and the A, with a hammer at the 11th. And then we jump back and just play a power chord to the 7th, up to 9, 12, 14, 9. Then we have 7, kind of going between 7 and 9, a couple up, 9 hits, a couple hits there, then 7, 9 again. And then play that 7, so I have this. And then the ending is really cool. Now, I know that they're playing this up here because you can hear the slide. The kind of slide really makes it sound cool. So that's kind of, so that's 7, down to 2, back to 7, then 8. So all together. Repeat. So twice without solo, then twice under the solo. So I'll play the whole section here. So it's going to be this riff 4 times, and then the actual, the second half of the rhythm under the solo. So this is kind of the solo section, the rhythm part at least. So we have this. All right, so that's that same riff done twice. So that's the first half of the solo, and then we go down to this power chord here at the 4th fret of low E. Hit that like 3 times, and then the 2nd fret power chord heavily palm muted, then the open E power chord heavily palm muted, and then over to the power chord at the 4th fret of the A. I'll let that hold that. So we have this. Repeat. And that's going to be the end of the solo section there. So let me do the actual solo. So this is Kirk's first solo. Get the wah warmed up. So here we go. right, so that thing, let me turn off the delay real quick. So I won't use the wah pedal. You know what he's doing with the wah. So we're gonna just kind of start here with this. So this, he's probably doing this on his Les Paul, because this, especially on my guitar, if I do this, it's just, you can't really keep it in tune because the trim system comes up. So, so he might be using Greenie. But who knows what he use live. But anyway, so we're gonna start here with this. He's playing the 12th fret on the B and the high E together while bending the 11th fret on the G. So that first big bend you hear is that. Kind of hit that with that bend. And then he picks the 12th fret there on the B, bend and release at the 11 on the G, over to 9 on the G, to the 11 on the D. It's a way that. So that's a little opening there. Then we have this. So this is out of the C sharp minor pentatonic scale. All right, so we're gonna, from there we have this, a little bit of a kind of bluesy double stops in there. So we're gonna hammer from a 9 to 11 on the A string. Then on the same thing on the D and the G. So, I'm sorry. Hammer 9 to 11 on the D and the A and then the D. Over to 9 on the G. Back to that 9 on the D. Then to the double stops here, the 9th fret across the G and the B. Then the double stops here at 11 on the kind of a bluesy, at the 11th fret across the B and the G. This is kind of out of the pentatonic scale, but not out of it. It's like outside of it, let's say that. Kind of the blues scale and then the 6th. Back to the double stops at the 9, over to the 11th fret there on the D. So this. Then we have this little one. So we have the 11 on the D to 9 on the G, over to 12 on the B, bend and release at the the 11 on the G, release, pull off to 9, and back to that 11. Kind of do that a couple times. So the third time through, you can do it as a oblique bend, holding that 12th fret if you want, while bending up the 11th, so with this. Then here. Pull off to 9, you're gonna hit the 9 a couple times. Into a bend at the 12th fret there on the B. Then when the rhythm goes up to that, when it gets to that part, so it's basically taking it to A flat, he jumps to A flat minor. So the same thing here, when you're in C sharp, he just takes the same form, moves it up to the 16th fret, and has some fun there. So from there, we're gonna just kind of starts up. So it's just kind of just quick little trills across 16 and 19 on the high E, then the B. And then he goes into this kind of unison bend stuff. So that he's holding the 16th fret there on the B string while bending up the note on the 18th fret there on the G. And then kind of bending it up till it matches that pitch on the B string, and you pick the note on the B string again. So it just. right, so after he does that for a little bit, he does. So that's kind of just bending that 18th fret there on the G string. Bend it up, pulse up. And then he kind of staccato picks it. So every time he picks it, he's going to bring it come right back down on the string and mute the string before he picks it again. And slowly lets the bend down so it kind of gets. Then when you get to the bottom of the bend, the release of the bend, then slide up to 20, and then play 18. So after this little right there, we're gonna come back down to the 9th fret, play that little run. So that's gonna be just a hammer 9/11 on the A, the D, and the G, and then pick that top note. Then we have this. So that little ending. So it's just another kind of. But once again, my guitar goes out of tune doing that. But we're gonna hammer those all the way up to that 11 again on the G. Bend it up a whole step, and then catch that 12th fret there on the B, and back to the 11 bend. So I have to release mine. And then we're gonna end the solo. So that's a bend and release of the 11 on the G, down to 9, and then the bend at the 12th fret on the B. Then 12th fret on the high E string, into that bend at the 12th fret on the B again. All right, now we've made it to this little clean section that happens here. So let me change my settings here. So now this is, once again, it could be played up here, who knows, but I'm gonna play it down here. So it looks like this. So that's gonna start here at the 6th fret on the D, over to the 4th fret on the A string. So it's really based around this power chord and this one. Now the picking that they're doing on each one, I don't have exactly. It's just kind of, they're just kind of taking up the space. Sometimes kind of hitting the. So it just kind of goes back and forth between those two without any fills to start. And then the third time through, it does this. It adds this little fill between 6, again, a hammer 6 to 7, pull back to 6 on the top note, on the D string. And then back down to the B, and then come back up again. And this one's a little bit different. It goes like this. So instead of going, it goes, kind of does a half set bend and release, slide back down here to the 4th fret, and then there's this little lick there at the end of it, like this. So we're playing 6 on the A, hammer 7, pull back up to 6, slide down to 4, and then start the riff over by sliding back 2 to 4. So this this section altogether when the fills started coming in. Start over. Now this, kind of, I guess this is the 5th time through now. We have this a little bit different. Hit this. So that was a little bit different ending, getting us to the B chord. Kind of picking that top note, slide up to 7, slide back down, then slide down to 4. And then this has a little bit different ending. A little bit, it's not the big full one like that. It's just pull off 7 to 6, then pick 4 on the A string. And then start the riff over by sliding back up from 2 to 4. And then this one has this, that kind of same, that longer fill. And then it does 2 more times, and it's kind of building up here to the harmony section. He's just kind of picking across with no fills. All right, now we have made it to the harmony section, which is, I think, most people's, and you can see on the YouTube graph, it's the part that most people listen to the most. This one is, I basically break this thing up into 4 different sections because we basically have a series of riffs that kind of harmonize each other through, it's played twice, and then a new series of riffs that harmonize each other, each riff played through twice, then another one that plays through twice, and another section of riffs that play through twice. And the amount of harmonized guitars in each part changes. So it starts off with a very lower voiced harmony, and it's a 3-part harmony. Then it moves, they start kind of adding higher voices as you get further through the sections. And it goes to a 4-part harmony for like the 2nd and 3rd time, I believe. Yeah, let me look. Yeah, it's for the 2nd and 3rd time. And then in the 4th section, for a brief moment at least, it's a 5-part harmony. But just for a quick second. Anyway, so, but it's mostly a 4-part harmony, that last one. So what I'm gonna do, because it's gonna be, obviously I can't perform the harmony section for you, because I'm not 5 guys in one, contrary to popular belief, I know. But I'm gonna tackle the lowest voicing of each section and then work our way up in the harmony. And then I'm gonna go to section 2 and do the same thing, and then section 3 and do the same thing. So we're gonna build up the harmonies in each section. So in this first section, the lowest line we have is this, which is pretty much close to the chorus riff, really. So we have this. So that is basically it. Let me turn the delay off here. I don't know how that got on there. But and that is basically what the chorus riff, all right? It's the lowest harmony line. So they're gonna harmonize that. So now the second line in that we're gonna play over that harmony, so it plays each one of the riffs twice. So over that, we're gonna have this. So once again, these things can be played here. I don't know, but it's you're never going to see them play this whole harmony section. Obviously, they don't have 5 guitar players in the band. But anyway, so we're going to play here. Here. By the way, if you want to perform this with your band, you can basically just go through and kind of pick the ones that you like the most. Harmony sections, and you can just kind of choose which ones you think sound good together if it's just a couple guys playing. And this allows you to choose which one you want to do. So this is basically harmonizing that riff a little bit like a third. So we're going to start here with a couple hammer-ons between 6 and 7 on the A. Then play 6, 7 on the, just kind of pick it. Over to 6 on the D. hammer 7, a quick hammer, then back to 7 on the A. So this. Then we're going to come over here to the 9th fret. So kind of a bend and release there at the 9. Then 7, 6, then back to 7. So, and then you're gonna, so we have this. Then it's a kind of a bend at the 7, 7 and release. Down to 6, then 7, 6 on the A. So all together for that section. And repeat. All right, so that's the second harmony line, and then one higher harmony of that is a fifth of that, of the low part. We're gonna harmonize a fifth. So we've got the second harmony line harmonized that lowest riff up a third, and this next one's harmonizing that lowest riff up a fifth. All right, so, and it looks like this. All right, so that's going to be hammer from 9 to 11 on the A string. Do that twice, and then pick 9, 11. Over to 9 on the D, and then a quick hammer from 9 to 11 on the D. Back to that 11 on the A. So, then we're going to come over here to the 8th fret on the G string. Bend and release. Then back 11, 9 on the D. Then back to that 11. And then bend and release that 11. Down to 9, and then 11, 9 on the A. So all together. All right, now that takes care of harmony section 1. Then we get to, so each one of those riffs played twice, and then the next group where we play a riff harmonized section where we're playing the same riff twice again. So this is section 2, is a 4-part harmony. And we really kind of have a rhythm guitar part. It's not really being harmonized. So I'm considering it one of the sections. It's not really a harmony though. So now this actually is going to go for the rest of the harmony section too. So this is really the kind of thing that underpins the whole thing. So it looks like this. So you can do like, you can make it as aggressive if you want, but it's kind of hammering 7 and 9 twice, and then kind of holding on that 9. And then just a single note riff, 4 on the low E, open, 2, and back to the 7. So just. So that's going to be the lowest part in all the remaining harmony sections. So then the second part, so the next part up here in harmony section number 2, looks like this. All right, so that's going to be hammering from 9 to 11 on the A. And then you're going to play. So that's going to be 11, 9, 12, 11. Jump down here to the 9th fret there. And then, I'm sorry, the 7th fret there on the A. Over to 9 on the low E. So with this. So. All right, From there, we're going to go over to the 9th fret on the D, to the 11th fret on the A, then 7 on the D, 9 on the A, 6 on the D, 7 on the A, and then I'm going to go across this B major arpeggio. So that's going to be 4 on the D, 6 on the A. This is getting to be a long video, so I'm losing my mind. And then over to 7 on the low E. So all together. Repeat. All right, so now that is harmonized here for the 3rd harmony line in this section. Looks like this. All right, so this is hammering 13 to 14 on the D string. And then 14, 13, 16, 14, 13, 11. So and then the little descending intervals here. So it's going to be 13 on the G, over to 14 on the D. Then 11 on the G to 13 on the D. A 9 on the G to 11 on the D. And then you're going to play the 8th fret there on the G string. 9 on the D and 11 on the A. All together. Just repeat that twice. Then we have a 4th harmony part up a little higher, and this one has a little bit different melody to it too. It looks like this. All right, so that's going to be hammering from 11 to 13 on the G. A couple times. And then what are you going to do? That's going to be 14 on the B, over to 13 on the G. Then you're going to play 12, 11 on the high E string, to 14 there on the B, to 13 on the G. So then we're going to do the intervals for this one. Now this was a little bit lower in the mix. This, you can hear it, but it's a lot lower than the other ones. But we have 12 on the high E to 14 on the B. Then 11 on the high E to 12 on the B. Then 9 on the high E to 9 on the B. Then we're going to play another B major, which is 7 on the high E, 7 on the B, to 8 on the G. So all together. All right, then we get to, we're around the 7-minute and 12-second mark here. We're halfway through the harmony section. So section 3 now. Another 4-part harmony, the lowest part being, once again, the same. More of a rhythm, not something they're harmonizing. But then above it, we have this. It's a little bit different, basically just a little bit different phrasing, a little bit different melodies on top. So it looks like this. All right, so that's going to be hammering from 9 to 11 on the A. And then we're going to play this. playing 9 to 11 to 9, 11 on the D, and a bend up on that 11. Then you're gonna come up to the 14th fret there on the D string. So that's gonna be, you're gonna bend the 14 up, release. So they played 13, and then now you're gonna bend up 13 and release down to 11, and then bend 11 down to 9. So it is. Now when you get to the 9 on the D, hit that twice. Over to 9 on the A and 11 on the low E string. All right, and then just kind of obviously repeat that twice. All right, so on top of that, we have harmony line number 3, which looks like this. So that's hammering from 9 to 11 now on the D. So it's pretty much almost the same thing we did, but string lower. So higher in pitch. So we have kind of hammering 9 to 11 on the D. And then play 9, 11, 9 on the D and the G, and then bend up that 11 on the G. And then, so that's going to be a bend and release at the 13 on the G. Down to 11, and then bend and release on the 11, then down to 9, and then bend and release on that 9, down to 8, hit that 8 a couple times, down to 9 on the D and 9 on the A. And once again, you're doing that part twice. And then we have harmony line number 4 for this third section, harmony section, which looks like this. So that's hammering 13 to 14 on the D. A couple times, and then play that 13, 14, then 13, 14 on the G, and then bend up that 14. And then you're gonna come up to the 16th fret there, bend and release, down to 14, and then bend and release 14, then down to 13, and then bend and release 13. And then you're gonna play 11 twice, over to 13 on the D, and 14 on the A. All right, so that is harmony section number 3. And then harmony section number 4, we have, once again, the lowest line that you're gonna hear. Is that thing. But on top of that, we have this. So this last harmony is like the really fun one. And they actually kind of reprise this in a second. So we're gonna, so we're hammering 9 to 11 there on the D, on the A string. So after you do that hammer, you're gonna pick that 11 3 times. So do that little riff 4 times. And then go to 9, 11 on the D. And then we're gonna come up here. So this is gonna be play 14 on the D string, then play 13, hammer on 14, pull back off to 13, slide down to 11. Then kind of the same pattern, different notes. So that's going to be 13, 11, hammer back to 13, pull off to 11, slide down to 9. Then, same pattern again, which is going to be 11 on the D, 9 on the, to 9, hammer back to 11, pull off to 9, slide down to 6. So. Then we're going to have the 9th fret, 6, hammer back on to 9, pull off to 6, slide down to 4, and then 6, 4 on the D to 6 on the A. So. So you do that twice, and then we're going to harmonize that up here. Now this one's kind of weird. So this third harmony part kind of splits into two. We have one that does this, like this. So one is doing that at the beginning. Like that. But we have a different one that does this. But there's no, like, the kind of little descending roll run that happens after it. The higher harmony part doesn't have one. So they kind of maybe have the same descending line. So you could choose which one you want to do here. But I think they both have that same ending that just kind of goes down the G string. So anyway, the first one is this. Hammering 9 to 11 on the D. And then 3 hits on that 11 again. So 4 times again, and then over to 8, 9 on the G. Then you're gonna come up here to this 13th fret and start this little same little lick, but now on the G string. 13, then play 11, hammer 13, pull back up 11, slide down to 9. And then the next one is going to be 11, 9, hammer 11, 9, slide down to 8. And then we're going to play 9, 8, hammer 9, pull off to 8, slide down to 6. Gate's cutting me off. Like that. And then we play 8, 6, hammer 8. Pull off to 6, slide down to 4, and then 6, 4 on the G, over to 6 on the D. So now once again, we have this part that, and it's going to be harmonized with this as well. So that's kind of hammering 13 to 14 on the D. Then hit it 3 times, so the same riff. And then come over here, 11, 13 on the G. And then you can do the same little descending run we did for the previous. But I'm just saying, this one right here, there's no kind of matching descending run for it. So they probably is getting a little bit too thick. You can't have all these, like when it's a faster line, is you know, you need like the ending part is. They probably couldn't have that many harmonies. And then we get to the, technically, I guess you could call it the 5th harmony part, but it's really the 4th full harmony part. Looks like there's a real high one, so it was just. All right, so that's going to be hammering 11 to 13 on the G. So that same little lick there. Then over to 12, 14 on the D, B. And then, so this is going to be 14, then 12, hammer 14, pull off to 12, slide down to 9. Then 12, 9, hammer 12, pull off to 9, slide down to 7. Then we're going to play 9, 7, hammer 9, pull off to 7, slide down to 5, and then 7, 5, hammer 7, pull off to 5, slide down to 4. So it's kind of just. And then 5, 4 on the B to 4 there on the G there. All right, so then we get, that's the end of the official harmony section. There's a little bit of other harmony work that's added in here too. Now this is going to be, let me play like kind of the lowest rhythm part of it first, and then we'll take a look at the little harmony lines that are going on over it. So it looks like this. All right, so that is slightly chaotic, but we're gonna start with that kind of that same main riff, little hammer thing, done twice, and then I'm really kind of filling in like playing the low harmony line there, but it's kind of so you know where I'm at. But that's really kind of a harmony line. It's not really part of the lower rhythm part, but so we'll take a look at that in a second. But then we're gonna go. Which is going to be the power chord here at the 4th fret on low E, 4, 5, 4, then 2 heavily palm muted, open E, open power chord, heavily palm muted, and then the B power chord, the 2nd fret of the A string. So we have this. Then it goes back to this kind of main riff lick. Then we have this. So that is basically that same thing, then the little harmony thing, and then we had this power chord off the 4th fret of the low E, then 2, and the open E. Then we have this power chord with the 5th in the bass, which is it's an E flat, this E flat power chord. So it's going to be the 6th fret across the A and the low E, with the 8th fret there on the D. So we have this. And then you're gonna play the C sharp power chord here, the 4th fret of the A, then the B power chord, the 2nd fret, over to the 4th fret of the low E power chord. So it is. And then here, we're gonna have this little ending that takes us back to the chorus. So that's just going to be that 4, 5, 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 4, 4. So it's just kind of between those two chords. And then he's going to jump over here to this B power chord with the F sharp in the bass. So that's going to be the 2nd fret across the A and the low E, and the 4th fret there on the D and the G. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna go the 2nd fret power chord to the low E, and the open E power chord. All right, so that takes us to back to the chorus, out of the harmony section. All right, so now we have these 3 harmony lines that happens over that, and they're very similar, or they're pretty much the same that we've already covered. So the lowest one is this. So it's basically, I added the rhythm there so you knew where I was at in the harmony. So it had that starts it, and then we go. That's just 11, 9, 11 on the A to 9 on the D, slide to 11, and then there's that rhythm guitar. And then a little bit more extended. So that's the same, after that, this is the same ending that we did in the full harmony section. And then we have a second harmony line that happens on top of this. And instead of going, it's this, which is just 9, 11 on the D to 9 on the G, and slide 11 to 13 on the G, and then back. And then it's the same harmony little descending line that we did in the main harmony section on the G string. The same one we've already done. And then the high harmony part there is all right, so that's going to be 11, 13 on the G, over to 12 on the B, slide up to 14, and then that same descending line that we did at the end of the harmony section on the B string. All right, so that is officially it for the harmony section. That takes us back to the chorus, the same chorus as before. And then we get to this little kind of the end of the intro riff, the riff that happens at the end of the intro of the song, but a little variation on it. It looks like this. And then it gets to a new riff. So that's pretty similar, except we basically put a longer tail on it. So we just basically go, and it's half as long too. So we basically, the riff normal for one time. And make sure when you're starting over here, this interval leads it instead of a full power chord. So on the second time through, so that's that kind of thing, but he does it twice. So it goes, so that riff, that 12, 9, 9, 7, 9, 12, 9. So we did that earlier, but then he does it again. So he does it 2 times in a row. So there's a little thing that happens there, like I think Kirk's doing, but I'm just gonna avoid that. Don't worry about that. And then, that's the one thing I'll skip. And then we just have that kind of thing right there. There's the first 2 intervals in that line, and then they jump to this new riff, which is kind of like, it's a cool riff, kind of leads us into this outro chorus, which is over a different riff, basically. It looks like this. So kind of like that. So we just go 4, 2, 0 on the low E string, over to 4 on the A a couple times, and then do that again. So like this. And then we're gonna kind of reverse it, 0, 2, 4 on the low E to the open A. So, and then you're gonna play 2, 0 on the A string. So 2, 0 on the A, over to 4 on the low E. So with this, gotta go back to that fifth, the A string, 2nd fret. Kind of that thing. Just hit that a few times, back down to the open A, to the 4th fret on the low E string, and then back here. So we have this. So after you come back here, hit this twice there, the 2nd time through, then you're gonna end it with 4, 2, 0, 2. So we have this all together. So from here he goes to kind of the same thing a little bit, but he's played more with chords, and this is around the 9-minute and 25-second mark of the song. And this rhythm right here is also what Kirk is soloing over in his second and last solo. So it looks like this. So it's kind of like that. Now on this top chord, it sounds like it's doing the same thing he was here, or maybe strumming it. It's kind of hard to pick up, but it's here at the 4th fret there. Same chord here, so we can do that same thing. But I can kind of hear some of that movement on that chord here at the 4th fret of the A. And then we're gonna go open E power chord, heavily palm muted, 2, 4. To the B power chord here at the 2nd fret of the A. And then here, this one's kind of doubled. It goes 4, 2, 0. So we have this like. Right here. Again. So it goes. All right, so that is that kind of the outro chorus, and continues to go as Kirk does his solo. So let me play now Kirk's second solo, and then I'll show you how to play note for note. So here we go. So let's again cut the delay off and not use the wah, and let's get through this. So we're going to start it. So just on the 6th fret there on the D there. So over to 6th fret on the G. Kind of back and forth between those two notes. And then kind of the same thing here, the 9th fret on the D, 8th on the G. Then into the 6th fret on the G and the 5th fret on the B, the same thing. And then we have this, what happens on that one, which is going to be 6 on the G, 5 on the B, 7, and bend up on that 7. And then slide into 7 on the B. I'm sorry, 7. It's been a while since we started this video, so I am losing my mind. So we slide into the 12th fret on the B, and then over to 11 on the high E. Pick across those two, and then you're going to take it up to 14 on the B and 12 on the high E. And this is when you start ramping it up a little bit. So that's going to kind of 12, 14, back to 12. Kind of 12, 14, pull off. Then 12, 14 again, and then a little lick happens a few times, just pulling off 14 to 12 on the high E, over to 14 on the B. So I'm going to resolve it there by hitting the 14 on the B a couple times after you play it a few times. So. And then we're back to. So that's kind of going between 14 and 12. Getting this kind of thing note for note is kind of difficult. It's kind of a feel thing, but so kind of a 14, 12, 14 into a bend, and then kind of bend up, release, pull off over to 14 on the B, back to that 12 on the high E. And kind of do it again. And then we have this that kind of consistent bending like he goes into, which is that bend and release on 14, pull off to 12, over to 14 on the B, back to that 12. So kind of leading in that, just kind of better just to kind of hear me play through that section. So after you do that, you're going to come back here. So that's it. Kind of a bend and release at the 11th fret there on the G. Pull off to 9, back to 11. Then play 9, 11. Bend that 9, sorry, to 11 and release again. So then 11, 9, 11 on the D. So, all right, then we start kind of building up. So that slide into the 11th on the D, over to a 9 on the G. So do that a couple times, and then move up. So that slides up to the 18 on the D, over to 16 on the G string, then play 18, 16, 18 on the D, back to 16 on the G. Then we have this again, 18 on the D to 16 on the G, into a bend there at the 19th fret on the high E string. And then after that bend, gotta do a bend and release, pull off to 16, and then 18 front on the G string, bend and release, down to 16. And then we have this little melody. So that happens a couple times, which is just a bend and release at the 18 on the G, down to 16, and back to the 18. So. And then we have this, kind of picks across, he holds a bar across the 16th fret of the D and the G. Just kind of let them ring together, just pick across, and then do it again. And then we end the solo with, so it's kind of like one of those quick little bluesy things. He just does a quick bend to the 18th fret, roll the 16th fret from the B, the high E string, and then into a bend at the 19th fret on the high E string. And then here, more of those kind of trill things that we happen in the earlier solo, kind of just between 16 and 19 on the high E and the B. And you go into a quick little bend on the 18th fret there, on the G, and pull off to 16. So, and then you're going to end the solo with the jumps back here, the 11th fret on the D. Do a big bend, release, pull off to 9. Back up to the 11, and then play the 11 on the A. Just let that slide down. And we have finally made it to the end of the song here, where we have this ending, which is just kind of a slight variation of the ending of the, it's a more condensed version of the ending of the harmony section that we went through. So it looks like this. All right, so same thing. And we did at the end of that R harmony section, the same ending, same harmonies. And so that's going on, those three harmonies, but we had this. Then. So that first ending there is the same. And then we go back to the same three harmonies again. But we don't do this dun, 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 that we did at the end of the harmony section. We just go. And just goes to this. So that's kind of that 4, 5, 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 4. Then hit this 2 more times. Let that ring. Little hit there, and then we had that same ending. So that same B with the F sharp in the bass. Kind of hit 6 times, and then F sharp power chord, E, and we're going to end the song sliding 7 to 9 on the low E, and just kind of let that ring. All right, we have gotten through Inamorata, finally. Hope you guys are happy. You guys requested this a lot. It's the only reason I did it, because it's too long. It's kind of killed my week. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'd like to see someone actually play this thing now. Please. Hopefully somebody made it all the way through it. All right, I'll see you guys again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.